Hi, I'm Master Preston, Chief Master Instructor at Arizona's Best Martial Arts. And in this video, we're going to be working on the curriculum to help you advance to your next level. So make sure you're warmed up and you're ready to get started.
I'm Master Mike DeGuana.
And I'm Master Alexandra Pozon, and in this video, we are going to be doing leg locks.
So make sure you guys are warmed up and ready to go. Leg lock technique number 1 is a straight ankle lock when my opponent has me in guard. So Master Pozon has me in her guard. First thing I do is a guard break. My left knee is going to go to the tailbone. I'm going to sit back to create the space. Hands in the hips and elbows push down to break open the guard. I'm going to overhook the leg, wrap it up nice and tight. The knee that was in the tailbone, my left leg, is going to sit up and through the middle of her legs. I'm going to swing my right leg, foot to the hip, as I fall backwards and slide my arm back. I'm going to feel her instep in the back of my shoulder, making sure my hand stays nice and high on my chest, and my elbow is lifted to suck that leg right into my armpit. From this position, I squeeze the legs together. I arch my back to put pressure on the top of her foot while lifting up on the back of her calf to create the break. Again, from guard, my left knee to the tailbone as I sit back. Hands on the hip, elbows in to break the guard. Overhook the leg. My left knee sits through the middle as my right leg swings over and I fall back. It's okay to slide that back until you feel the foot stop you. Elbow up, hand up nice and tight to lock that leg under my armpit. I'm going to pinch the knees, push out with the feet, arch my back, and lift up with my forearm to break the leg. And that is technique number 1, the straight ankle lock when my opponent has me in guard. Leg lock technique number 2 is an ankle lock when my opponent has me in guard. So again, Master Pozon gets me in guard. I do the same guard break. Knee to the tailbone, sit back, hands on the hip, and the elbows dig to break open the legs. I hook onto the leg. It's not important to go all the way under this time, just as long as you're trapping that leg. My knee comes up through the middle like before. My right leg swings over to the hip. This time though, instead of sitting straight back, I'm going to fall more to my side. I bring my knee in to twist her, and that gets her heel up in the air, which is easier for me to attack. Now, my top arm, this foot should be instep in your armpit. My top arm is going to wrap over the foot, and I'm going to get a bite on her heel, right underneath here. Okay, this is important to lock that heel. Now I'm going to fall to my shoulder so I can use the other hand to squeeze tight. I'm going to twist and point the heel up in the air and then arch my back to put pressure on the toes. So the break I'm looking for is the heel comes up and the toes are pushing down. This is my forearm, this is my armpit, twisting and pushing. So again, from the guard, knee in, sit back, guard break. Trap the leg, knee sits through the middle, foot goes to the hip, and I turn on my side. Over the top of her foot and to the side underneath her heel. Lay on my shoulder so I can go palm to palm. I twist up on the heel and arch. This puts a lot of pressure on the knee. So when you're doing this, do it very slow to your partner because there's just a little bit of pain, but then there's a lot of pain when the knee can pop. So make sure you guys take your time on this one. Very dangerous. That's technique number 2, the ankle lock when my opponent has me in guard. Leg lock technique number 3 is a knee bar when my opponent has me in the guard. So now, I suppose one gets me in guard. Same guard break. Knee to the tailbone, I sit back, hands and elbows to break. From this position, I hook onto the leg. My knee again comes through the middle, but this time, this knee is going to continue over the hip and around the leg that I'm attacking. Once it goes over the hip, you're basically going to make a pit stop and sit on your opponent. So I'm going to take this knee, come over the top, and I'm going to sit on my opponent's belly. This gives me a second to hook onto the leg, keep it nice and tight to my chest, so this foot can finish wrapping underneath my opponent's body here, and I fall to the side. Now, I'm going to hook onto the leg to make sure that the toes are pointing at me. This means that the knee is pointing at me, which is ideal for me to put pressure on top of the kneecap and break the leg. Top arm is going to swim underneath as far as I can get. Elbow pulls the leg back and extends. If you have trouble with this and your partner isn't as flexible enough to just get the leg back from here and you get stuck, you can crunch under the leg and then sit back. So I have the leg trapped. I'm going to arch my back to extend and push forward with my hips to break the knee. Again, in my opponent's guard. Guard break. Knee in, sit back, hands and elbows. Trap the leg, knee comes through the middle. I swing it over the leg, sit on my opponent, hook onto the leg, and fall to the side. Make sure the toes are pointed at me. I pull the leg close to me. My top arm swims under, crunch if I need to, and lock it in place. I arch back on the heel and push forward with my hips. That is technique number 3, the knee bar when my opponent has me in guard. Technique number 4 is a knee bar from side mount. We call it the Wishbone Kneebar. So now my opponent's laying on her back. Now I'm going to start in side mount, just like in the armbar series, underneath, trapping, and pinning my chest to hers. From this position, my arm comes in front of the face into the neck, so I can push up and break the hold. My back knee, bottom knee that's closest to her hip, comes up to her belly, and I post out, knee on belly position. From right here, the hand closest to her legs are going to go down in between. I'm going to swing this posted leg over top of the head as I collect this leg up. So I'm going to collect the leg, swing over to here. Again, I fall to the side like in knee bar number 3, collecting the foot, and this time my top leg is going to push out on the other leg, which is why we call it a wishbone technique. Here. Just like before, I make sure the toes are pointed at me, top arm swims under to trap, and now I push out on the leg as I extend my hips. One more time. Side mount position. Hand comes in front of the chest. I push up. Knee to belly. Boom. Foot is out. Knee is pressing in. Arm is down between the legs. I slide the leg around the head as I collect her leg all the way under. Sit back. Top foot pushes out on the leg. Pull into me and swim under. Arch my back, push out on the foot, and extend the hips. That is technique number 4, the wishbone knee bar from the side mount. Technique number 5 is the calf crush when I have my opponent in my guard. So now I'm on my back and pulling Alex into my guard here. From this position, what I'm going to do is take one leg, slide it down into the crook of her knee, the same side. I'm going to bring my arm under, swim under, and push it out of the way. This way I can sit up on the elbow. She's on the side. I want to leave the instep, my shin right on the crook of her knee. I'm going to reach down and grab the foot. Very important that you grab by the toes for the most leverage. Not down here. She could fight out of this. This right here, you have way more control. Now all I'm doing is I'm pulling the foot towards me and I'm crushing her calf with my shin in the middle of her leg. Doesn't take much. So one more time. I have my opponent in guard. I'm going to slide the foot down. I'm going to go underneath her arm, swim it out of the way, and sit up. Post up on the elbow, keeping the shin right there in the bend of the knee. I reach to the foot. If you need to use 2 hands, you can. But most people, you don't have to. Grab the toes, and I pull in to put a lot of pressure and crush the calf. So that is technique number 5, the calf crush. Technique number 6 is the heel hook when I have my opponent in guard. So from right here, I have Master Pose On in my guard. Now, a way that people break out of guard is just to stand up and make it really hard for me to hold on with my legs. So Master Pose On is going to start to push away, which is making it really hard for me to hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trap the leg, pull myself close to it. The same leg that I'm grabbing onto, that leg will go between her legs, wrap around. And I want to put pressure down on her knee while kicking away. She'll go belly down, and the foot I want right underneath my armpit. Now from this position, I don't want her to roll anymore, so I'm going to keep that nice and tight so she can't move, but she's not also able to roll out of it. I want to keep her here. Just like the ankle lock before, I go on the outside of the heel, okay? I twist up, and I arch my back down to put the pressure into it. So again, nice and tight, here, lock the legs, and twist this way. So one more time, I have Master Pose On in guard. She tries to stand up to break out. Okay. I grab onto the leg, pull myself in so that I can swim this leg between hers, around her knee, collapsing down and pushing out. If I do that correctly, the foot should just end up in my armpit. I wrap up the heel, keep my knees and feet all locked together really tight on her leg. I twist and I arch to create that heel hook. That is technique number 6, the heel hook from guard. Leg lock number 7 is called the ham sandwich. We are attacking the hamstring. My opponent has me in guard. From here, starts off like the typical guard break we've been doing. Knee to the tailbone, sit back, elbows in, break. But from right here, I don't need to post this knee up and through. I'm going to actually now, instead of wrapping over, I'm going to go under the knee. My other arm, palm to palm, and keep this tight. Okay, this will allow me to throw the leg over and roll her to her belly. Getting myself set up. Now I transfer my weight so that the outside leg comes across, and I put my shin again into the back of the knee, kind of like what we did with the calf crush. And then from here, all I need to do is just use my chest and my body weight to push her foot down, and I crush the hamstring with my shin. So one more time. Opponent has me in guard. I start the guard break. Knee in, sit back, here. I underhook the leg, and I pull it in tight. Okay, don't leave this loose, because then they can just throw the leg over and they're not going to roll on their belly. Hook tight. I swing my hips over and throw her to her belly. Center off my weight here so I'm stable enough to take the outside leg, shin in. Foot's in the chest, I just sit forward, put pressure down. And that is technique number 7, ham sandwich. Technique number 8 is the knee bar sweep when I have my opponent in my guard. So Master Pose On is in my guard. I wrap the legs around. Again, she goes through the stand-up escape. Trying to stand up here. I'm going to hook that leg and pull myself in close. My knee is going to come under her leg here. Okay? The foot, though, stays on the hip. So just until I get my knee under hers. My other leg will wrap all the way around her head to the top, and it's going to pull her down with my heel as I kick her out. Pinch the knees together to trap the knee by my hips. From this position, I'm going to move the leg across the body. So it's on the far outside. Again, I swim, and I lock the heel into my armpit. Now from this position, my arm drops all the way down to finish the pressure, and my hips push up to the ceiling. So I'm forcing the knee up this way with my hips. So again, Master Pose On in the guard. She stands up. Okay, I'm going to hook onto the leg, drop the same side down, foot into the hip, and the knee is under. She's already pretty unstable from this position, so I'm going to throw the top leg over, bring the heel down to the back of her leg as I force her across, and she should go belly down. Now I'm pinching nice and tight to keep her from going anywhere else. Bring the foot across, swim under, so the heel is in the back of my shoulder. Hand goes all the way down to my butt, pushing down with the shoulder and arching up with the hips. And that is leg lock technique number 8, the knee bar sweep when I have my opponent in my guard.